Nottingham Forest absolutely furious with referee Michael Salisbury's decision to award Matheus Cunha's controversial goal after his Manchester United teammate Bryan Mbeumo handled it. Gary Neville called it a shocker of a decision as the referee stuck with his on-field decision after VAR had sent him to the monitor. And here is how it played out.
Sideways and backwards, he's not.
Oh, it's reached Mbeumo, much to his surprise. Been tapped home, and for now, Cunha's goal stands.
Well, they're going crazy, Nottingham Forest players. I would be as well, because there's a clear handball. I thought it was quite clear, but yeah, just almost like wedges it in between sort of the side of his body and his arm. If he scores, we know that goal gets disallowed. But I mean, I would be furious if that was allowed. It's a clear handball. I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever. They have to intervene here.
Well, an on-field review is being recommended by Matt Donoghue, so I think it's fairly clear the direction in which this is now heading.
I mean, the VAR's been quite clear, just so you know. We can hear what VAR are saying, and they're saying he's controlled it with his arm and he's brought it into play.
To review, the decision of goal stands because the handball offence is accidental. Therefore, the foul decision is goal.
Wow.
Wow.
I think that's an absolute shocker in every single way.
So, guys, look, Gary Neville couldn't believe the decision. Michael Salisbury deemed it accidental, handball. What did you make of the decision, Dermot?
I think it should be disallowed. I think it's handball. I think Michael gets seduced by this directive that if it comes off your body and strikes your arm, it's accidentally play on. But I think that's, if your arm's out there, I get it. It hits his hip, it strikes his arm. But if you watch this, Hayley, for me, it's totally different. And I think the VAR has tried to guide him on this. You know, he's done as much as he can. If you look here, his arm's out. When it finishes, his arm's in. Now, his arm's out there, but then his arm comes in. And I think he traps the ball between his arm and his thigh. I think it does strike his thigh, there's no doubt about that. But it doesn't fly up and hit his body. If you hit it here, it's almost cushioning the ball. It almost stops. It creates that opportunity for Mbeumo. I think at that point, you know, if you listen to the VAR, he's very, very clear. He says, I think there's a handball offence. I think he's controlled it with his hand. He sends him to the screen. He does everything he can possibly do, and then it's Michael's choice.
I'll come back to you in a moment as well. Something else I want to pick out, but just go on. Your initial reaction then.
My initial reaction is the same. For me, it's handball. Man United have definitely benefited from it, and when it comes across, like Dermot said there, okay, it has hit his thigh and his arm, but we don't know what is hit first, right? So it's almost like the ball is caught there for a moment.
Yep.
So when that happens, and then Man United benefit from it again, I don't think you can give a penalty there. I mean, sorry, I don't think you can give a handball there. It's just, it is a shocking decision, like Gary Neville said. Look, you can see it's hit his thigh and arm there at the same time. And then he's turned on it and swiveled and tried to have a shot. It's blocked, dropped to Cunha, obviously, and he's put it away. But Man United's benefited from that. That should be a handball. We always talk about as well, like, you know, referees taking responsibilities and sticking to their decisions. But he had the help in this scenario with VAR, and he should have took it. But he decided to stick with his decision, which is the wrong one, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's go on that, because, look, let's talk about Matheus Cunha's body language, himself suggesting it might be disallowed. We heard Gary Neville there, Micah Richards and Roy Keane also felt it was a really clear handball. VAR, Matt Donoghue, so he did send Salisbury to the monitor after saying Mbeumo controlled it with his arm, brought it into play. We want to know, can you explain the referee's thinking here? What was his thinking?
I go back to what I said, Hayley. You know, they've got this notion that if it strikes a part of the body and flies up and hits your hand, it's not been given. We've seen many times where a penalty's not been given. You know, it flies off Jay's thigh, hits his arm, the referee goes play on. We've accepted that, but I think that's different. If your arm's out there, I get it. It hits. But what it done, if you see that, I think the difference is here, it does strike his thigh, but if you look there, he's got the ball trapped. that's not flying up and hitting his body. He's, in my opinion, he's cushioning that.
Yeah.
I listened to Matt Donoghue. I thought he did brilliant on the VAR, honestly, for me. You know, he's guided him, he's explained what he's seen, he's explained why he sent him to the screen. He can do no more. You know, it's then up to Michael, but for whatever reason, Michael's obviously thought, it's hit his thigh first, I'm going to give accidental handball. Give an accidental handball, he plays on.
I don't, again, this is another example for me. I don't like the way they interpret the rules, which they deem are correct, obviously. This is where I'll go back to having players in the VAR room as well that can give some input, maybe even to Michael, and say, listen, and explain what's actually happened there. Because, like you said, Mbeumo has clearly controlled that ball with his arm. And it's not, maybe it's not intentional, but they've benefited from it. That's what people are going to say. They've benefited from it. They've scored a goal because of it. Again, I don't know if Michael has played the game at any level, but I think that when it's an opinion now, he's given an opinion, and I don't think you can give an opinion there.
Well, that's what he's paid for, unfortunately, Jay, isn't it? You know, he's paid to give his opinion is it handball or not? So that's a little bit unfair on me. He's paid.
No, but I'm saying when you're getting help from VAR as well.
Yeah, but
like you're meant to have a conversation.
I get that, but don't forget, the vote's 1-1, isn't it?
Well, there's two people in there.
The VAR has said to him, he feels it's handball because he sent him. Yeah. Michael feels it's not handball, so vote's 1-1. He's backed himself, hasn't he? So I just look at that. It's for me, it's handball.
Do you know when you say, sorry, Derm, do you know when you say 1-1, there is two people in that VAR room, right?
Yeah.
So if there's two people.
Yeah, one's an assistant. They will.
So they don't. It's not like. So it wouldn't be 2-1.
No, the vote's 1-1, isn't it? So he's obviously thought, I'm going to back myself. I get that, you know, and at times, you know, votes 1-1. The assistant's told me something, I think different, I'm going to back myself. But I think the weight of evidence was so greatly against him that I just think, for whatever reason, he took the wrong choice, because I think Matt Donoghue has done everything to say, look, here's your opportunity to have a look. But he had a look and said no.
I think one thing I would say as well, if that happens in the middle of the pitch.
But it didn't. It wasn't.
I know you don't like this, Derms. I know you don't like it. But if that happens in the middle of the pitch, what do you think he's given there?
Well, it's not the same.
He's given a free kick.
But, well, it didn't happen in the middle of the pitch.
Okay, but it should be the same, Dermot. This is the whole problem.
Jay, wait. A, it didn't happen in the middle of the pitch, and B, it's not the same decision, because in the middle of the pitch, it's not a goal.
But I'm saying to you, in the middle of the pitch, referees give handballs for that all the time. And I'm saying that should be the same in the penalty area. The decisions anywhere on the pitch should always be consistent, don't matter where you are.
Was that Old Trafford goodbye today?
Special day, very, very emotional. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed not just today. Of course, today is a beautiful day, but I enjoyed the last 4 years in my career. Not just me, with my family. I don't have another words. Just thank you very much.
What can you tell us on your future?
I was waiting for that one. No, clarity will be in time. I think we said end of the season. There's nothing to add at this stage. If and when there's something to be announced, I'm sure you'll be the first to know, Steve.
Well, you'll send me a message, will you? Are you close?
No, listen. We've enjoyed our time, you know, and the situation really hasn't changed, and it'll get sorted when it's going to get sorted. I think the club were pretty clear with the situation and coming into it, and towards the end of the season, if not the end of the season. So that's where we're at now. So you'll find that news out soon enough.
For me, no doubts about the handball. But in the end, I think we need to have a meeting together to understand when is handball, when is a block, when the blocks on the box, because in this moment we don't know what is possible or not, what the decision we know. A lot of times we don't understand the decisions, and but I must accept.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people scratching their heads as to how that goal stood, especially when the referee was directed to VAR and he stayed with the on-field decision, which is something that happens rarely, 17 times in 7 seasons of VAR. And when you've got big Manchester United legends who are covering that game, the likes of Roy Keane and Gary Neville, saying that should not stand, that goal, do you understand why, what it is about the law that allows it to stand, even if you disagree with it?
Not really. I mean, I understand that it takes a deflection and and at a short distance and hits him. But the fact that it takes the deflection and he basically traps it, controls it with his arm, unintentionally, of course, which leads to the shot, the deflection, and the ball just pops down for Matheus Cunha, and he's able to. It's a really good finish, but it's a completely unfair advantage. If it had flicked off the defender and then hit him on the hip, on the arm, and then went to Cunha, and Cunha was able to slot it in, I'd understand it more. This way, it confuses more people, and it frustrates people and angers people. I mean, you can hear there Pereira. I can understand him being like completely bewildered by the decision. And
it does sound like there's going to be some heck of a meeting at the end of the season to sort this out. Almost swore. Dion, big day for obviously Bruno. We'll look at his incredible record, his assist record. But it wasn't just him, actually. That midfield for Manchester United today was really ticking.
Brilliant. Absolutely outstanding. Casemiro, Kobe and Bruno himself. The thing about this three is they all do things very differently. Bruno's the creator and he gets the assists and the goals. You've got Casemiro who knits things together, his little clever passing. And you've got Kobe who just destroys things and makes things happen. They're always involved in everything that happens in the midfield. Look at the way they just they combine. They're always on the swivel. The weight of pass into Mbeumo there is just brilliant. And he should score. And Bruno's on the floor there saying, that was another assist I could have had.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And again, another straight ball, which this time you could see Casemiro just very cool, calm on the ball. Just that control of midfield was quite evident today for a number of occasions. Obviously, the numbers of players getting forward, back four certainly suits Manchester United a lot more. It allows players they play higher up, they get players more forward. There's a lot of movement in the box. Bruno Fernandes out wide is anywhere on the pitch is a real danger. And Mbeumo's finish is exceptional. And again, the defending, players back, the quick transition. Xerxes, a lot of criticism this season, but even he played his part, looked very comfortable. It's just because the side is so much more confident, so much happier with playing a higher line.
What a pass this was.
This is a fantastic ball, and Doku's touch is excellent. And unfortunately, just wasn't quite a good enough shot on goal.
Yeah,
I think the balance, Gabby, I think the balance of the three is so important.
Yeah, and it's the most assists in a season, equalling Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry. So a big day for him and also for Morgan Gibbs-White, who has had an incredible run of goal scoring since the beginning of March. She scored more than anybody else in the Premier League and I think adds another little headache for Thomas Tuchel in terms of his World Cup selections.
Listen, I think he's the kind of player, I think he does things very differently. He's got a maverick kind of attitude in the way he plays the game, and he'll try things that other players won't try as well. So, for me, he will be on the plane.
Oof, cool. OK. On to the battle then for European places, with Manchester City winning the FA Cup yesterday. The top 8 in the Premier League will qualify to play European football next season. If Aston Villa finish 4th, the top 5 would be in the Champions League, 6th and 7th in the Europa League and 8th in the Conference League. 6 could still deliver a Champions League spot, but only if Aston Villa finish 5th and win the Europa League final against Freiburg on Wednesday night. Got it, chaps?
That was goodbye to Casemiro at Old Trafford, but it looks, Dean Ashton, like Michael Carrick is staying. All talk of a 2-year deal in the pipeline. Is that well-deserved?
Yeah, I would say so. What he's done since coming into the club, galvanising the players, and getting them Champions League football is vitally important for a club like Manchester United. I mean, I think in terms of not having any European football, having to train with the players throughout every single week, the players being fresh, I think next season is going to be a lot more difficult. And that'll really test Michael Carrick.